Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. This is David speaking. Hello, everybody. Hello, my viewers and subscribers across the world. Listen to me very carefully. I told you I'm not going anywhere. I'm here again. Listen to me very carefully. Today is March 5th. March 5th. Today is the payment day. I mean the salary day. GPT, how can I express this context in English naturally, GPT? Today is the day I get the money from my company. Which one is correct? Payment day, salary day?
David, nice to hear you again. And I like the way you start like a broadcast to your viewers. It sounds like a YouTube opening. Let's make your English sound very natural. First, about payment day versus salary day. Native speakers usually do not say those expressions. The most natural expressions are payday, most common. People say this in everyday conversation. Example, today is payday. It's payday today, so I'm in a good mood. Salary day. This is understandable, but not common in natural conversation. Payment day. This usually means a bill payment day, not salary. So the best expression is today is payday. Let me help you refine your full sentence, David. Your version, open quote, today is the day I get the money from my company, close quote. More natural versions. Version 1, simple and natural, today is payday. Version 2, a little longer, today is payday. I just received my salary from my company. Version 3 for your YouTube style opening. Hello everyone, today is March 5th and today is payday. Let me read it slowly for you. Hello everyone, today is March 5th and today is payday. Very natural. David, one small correction in your introduction too. You said open quote, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, close quote. For a broadcast opening, native speakers usually say, good to see you again. Example opening, hello everyone. This is David speaking. Good to see you again. Today is March 5th and today is payday. Very clear and natural. If you want, we can also practice a 30-second YouTube style opening speech together. It will be great speaking practice for you.
Oh my God, GPT, I didn't know about that. Okay, you mean I could say uh, today is a payday. Today is the payday. GPT, could I add article the in front of payday? I mean, could I say today is the payday? Or based on your suggestion, today is payday.
David, great question. This is exactly the kind of detail that makes your English sound natural. Let's go slowly. First, the most natural sentence is simply today is payday. No article, no a, no the. Native speakers usually treat payday like a special day name, similar to today is Monday, today is Christmas, today is payday. So the best expression is today is payday. Now let's look at the other options you asked about. Today is a payday. This sounds unnatural in normal conversation. People almost never say this. Today is the payday. This is grammatically possible, but we use it only when we are talking about a specific payday we already mentioned. Example situation. Our company pays employees on the 5th of every month, so today is the payday. But even in that case, many native speakers would still simply say, today is payday. So remember this simple rule, David. Today is payday. Best and most natural, today is a payday. Today is the payday. Possible but uncommon. Now let me help you with a very natural speaking version for your video opening. You could say, hello everyone, this is David speaking. Today is March 5th and today is payday. Or a more casual one, hello everyone, today is March 5th and guess what? Today is payday. By the way, David, small pronunciation tip for speaking practice. Payday, payday. Say it slowly. Pie. day, example sentence to practice. Today is payday, so I'm in a good mood. If you want, we can also learn 3 more very common expressions people say on payday in English. They are very natural and useful in real conversation.
GPT, okay, I got the point. I got the point. I got the point. You know what? Yesterday, I heard our company's atmosphere these days. Bad mood these days. Like I said, there was a bad human resource restructuring last week. I mean last month. So the atmosphere of my office is very bad. Luckily, survived. Luckily, I survived, but I feel very sorry for the someone who left uh, at last month. I mean, mm, I felt very sorry about that. Sorry about them.
David, I understand what you're trying to say. Situations like restructuring can make the office atmosphere heavy. It's normal to feel relieved that you stayed, but also sad for colleagues who had to leave. Your feeling is very natural. Let me help you say this more naturally in English. First, your idea was very clear, but we can polish it a little. You said, I feel very sorry for the someone who left at last month. A more natural way would be, I feel very sorry for the colleagues who had to leave last month. Or, I feel sorry for the people who lost their jobs last month. Another very natural expression people use is, my office atmosphere has been a bit tense lately because of the restructuring. Let me show you a clean and natural version of what you were trying to say. Try reading this slowly. Recently, the atmosphere in my office has not been very good. Um, our company went through some restructuring last month, and several colleagues had to leave. Luckily, I survived, but I feel very sorry for the people who lost their jobs. This sounds very natural and professional English. One small improvement from what you said. Instead of bad mood atmosphere, native speakers usually say, the atmosphere is tense. The mood in the office is heavy. The atmosphere is not very good. Example, the atmosphere in the office has been quite
The
tense
atmosphere is
recently.
not very good.
Now let me give you
The
one more natural
atmosphere is
sentence you
not
can
very good.
remember.
The
I'm
atmosphere
grateful
is
that I
not
kept
very
my
good.
job, but I feel
The
bad for the
atmosphere,
colleagues who had to leave.
the
This sentence
atmosphere
sounds very
is very good.
mature and
Is not
thoughtful.
very good. The atmosphere
David,
is
if you
not
like,
very good.
we can also practice something very useful for your workplace. English, how to explain company restructuring clearly in meetings or conversations. For example, phrases like, the company is going through a restructuring. The organization is being reorganized. There has been a workforce reduction. These expressions are very common in global companies. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
I didn't say anything. That must have been kind of a technical glitch or technical hiccup. That happens all the time. That happens many times. That happens all the time. Never mind. Without further delay, let's dive into my English practice. I didn't share the material image today. So, you know what? I turn on that image. I put that image on my recording screen. So every viewers and subscribers can see it, including me. But however, you couldn't see that image, uh, directly. Right now, because I didn't share this image before I start this voice mode. So from now on, I'd like to share the agenda 3 sentence before we start that before we have discussion, detailed discussion. So listen to me very carefully. I hope you kindly understand what this sentence means. Okay, here I go. Request conformal coating material and application area. In this context, I get rid of the subject to make this sentence short, simple. So, but I mean, in speaking English, I wrote this sentence without subject, but in speaking English, I can say we request conformal coating material and application area. When you hear this, when you get this, the requirement, what do you say about this?
David, I'm following you. I like how you explain the situation like a presenter speaking to an audience. That's very good practice. Let's polish the English a little so it sounds clearer and more professional. First, a small correction to your explanation. You said, I removed the subject to make the sentence short. In documents or slide titles, that is very common. Many technical slides remove the subject. For example, in presentations, people write, confirm test conditions, review design changes, request coding material information. So your idea is correct. Now let's look carefully at your sentence. Request the compromised coding material and application area. There are two small issues. Compromised coding material sounds unusual in English. The meaning is a little unclear. I think what you may want to say is one of these. Option 1, most likely meaning, request the conformal coding material and application area. In electronics/PCBA manufacturing, conformal coding is very common. Maybe this is what you mean. Example meaning, you are asking the supplier or team to provide information about the coding material and where it will be applied. Option 2, if you mean agreement decision, request the agreed coding material and application area. Meaning, please confirm which coding material was agreed and where it will be applied. Now, let me show you how this would sound in spoken English during a presentation. You could say, first, we request confirmation of the coding material and the application area. Or a little more detailed, we would like to request the coding material specification and the application area. Now let's answer your question. You asked, open quote, when you hear this requirement, what is it about? Close quote. If I hear this in a manufacturing meeting, I would understand it is a request to clarify two things. One, which coding material will be used. Two, which parts of the PCB or product will receive the coating sex. This is very common in PCBA automotive electronics design reviews, which I know you often deal with at MC Next. Let me give you a very natural presentation version you could practice, David. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation of the coding material and the application area. Slow speaking version. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, we request confirmation of the coding material and the application area. One small improvement from your earlier sentence. You said agenda city sentence. The correct phrase is agenda item. Example, let me explain the first agenda item. David, I'm curious about one technical detail. This will also help your English. In your slide, is the term actually conformal coding or compromise coding? Because in electronics manufacturing, conformal coding is extremely common, but compromise coding is almost never used.
Okay, GPT, I got the point. So you mean I could say, as you know, how many times have I told you this is my speaking practice session? So let me speak as much as I can possible. Listen to me very carefully. Here I go one more time. Before, so you mean I could say before we could, before we proceeded, it's my bad. Let me just do very carefully. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation of the coating material and the application area. This is very important item time. I really want to keep these beautiful expressions in my mouse muscle memory. Let me try one more time. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation of the coating material and the application area. We are requesting confirmation of the coating material and the application area. 음, okay, okay, GPT. I asked you, when you hear this requirement, what's it about? What's it about? What is it about? What is it about? And you answered me, if I hear this in a meeting, in a manufacturing meeting, I would understand it's a request to clarify two things. Which coating material will be used and which parts of the PCB or product will receive the coating. Receive? Uh, receive? Is this right? When you say which parts of the PCB or product will receive the coating, receive? I don't think so. I think receive, the word receive is not good for this sentence. How about this version? Which part of the PCB or product will be get the coating, will be coated? Which part of the PCB or product will be coated?
David, you're doing exactly the right thing, repeating the sentence until it becomes muscle memory. That is a very powerful way to improve speaking. Let's polish a few parts so your presentation sounds natural and professional, especially for a technical meeting. Your opening sentence, you said, open quote, people, we proceed to the detailed discussion, close quote. In English meetings, people sounds a little unusual. Native speakers usually say, before we proceed to the detailed discussion, before we move on to the detailed discussion. So a polished version would be, before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. Your full presentation sentence. Here is a very natural version for meetings. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation of the coding material and the application area. This sounds clear and professional. Your question about receive the coding. Good instinct, David. Your feeling is correct. In engineering English, receive the coding is understandable, but not the most natural. Better expressions are be coded, best. Have coding applied, require coding. Best technical sentence. Your new sentence is very good. Which parts of the PCB or product will be coded? This is perfect engineering English. For example, It is requested to clarify two things: which coating material will be used and which parts of the PCB will be coated. Very natural. Even more professional automotive electronics meetings. You might also hear which areas of the PCB will be coated, or which components require conformal coating. These are very common phrases in PCBA design reviews. Final version you can practice. David, try repeating this. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation of the coating material and the application area. Then the explanation. This requirement is to clarify two things: which coating material will be used and which parts of the PCB will be coated. Your English presentation style is already very clear and structured, especially for technical topics like PCBA and manufacturing. David, one small curiosity from my side. In your real slide, is the term actually conformal coating? Because in automotive electronics, especially camera modules and PCB assemblies, conformal coating discussions are extremely common in DFM or design reviews.
To be honest, I don't understand what you're trying to say. I don't understand. Mm, mm. I mean, why do you ask uh the terms of our company? For the record, yes, certainly. It's conformal coating. Conformal coating. Do you have any idea about that? I mean, do you do you understand what's the purpose of conformal coating? I said yes, it's conformal coating. In my image, in my real slide, the term is the actually conformal coating.
David, thanks for clarifying. I understand now. And yes, I know what conformal coating is, especially in electronics manufacturing like PCBA. Your slide term, conformal coating, makes perfect sense. Let me explain it in simple, clear English so you can use it in presentations. What is conformal coating? Conformal coating is a thin protective layer applied to a PCB, printed circuit board. It protects electronic components from environmental damage. In simple English, you can say conformal coating is a thin protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components. Purpose of conformal coating. In technical meetings, engineers usually say it protects the PCB from moisture, dust, chemicals, corrosion, temperature changes. A clear explanation you could say in a presentation is, conformal coating is applied to the PCB to protect the electronic components from moisture, dust, chemicals, and corrosion. Why the application area matters. In design reviews, people must decide which coating material will be used, which areas of the PCB will be coated, because some areas must not be coated, for example, connectors, test points, buttons, or switches. So engineers need to define the coating area clearly. You could explain it like this. This is to clarify which coating material will be used and which areas of the PCB should be coated. A natural presentation explanation. David, this would sound very natural in a technical meeting. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation of the conformal coating material and the application area. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. Speak slowly and clearly like this. It sounds professional. One more small language improvement from earlier. You said, open quote, which part of the PCB will be get the coating, close quote. The correct form is which parts of the PCB will be coated, or which areas of the PCB will be coated. Areas is very common in engineering discussions. David, since you work with automotive camera electronics at CNEX, I'm curious about something practical. In your projects, do you usually use silicone conformal coating, acrylic, or urethane coating on the PCB? Those three types are the most common in automotive electronics.
Yes, we do. Yes, certainly. Yes, we do. And since this is my speaking practice, let me speak one more time. Based on your suggestion, listen to me very carefully. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain the agenda item. I'd like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation. We are requesting confirmation of the conformal coating material and the application area. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB. To apply the conformal coating is protective area, protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. I say on time. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. Moisture, dust, and corrosion. Especially for the electromagnetic dust parts, abnormal parts. Am I right? We conduct conformal coating. I mean, we have the exact conformal coating specification for the to protect the short circuit from electronic dust. GPT, I'm just wondering, how can I explain this context in English naturally? The real purpose, I mean, practical purpose of a conformal coating. Yes, you are right. Moisture, dust, corrosion, these purpose are right, but the practical purpose would be the protecting a short circuit.
David, you're explaining it very well already. Your idea is clear. Let me help you polish the technical English so it sounds natural in an engineering presentation. First, one small correction. You said, open quote, electromagnetic parts, abnormal parts, close quote. Engineers usually say sensitive electronic components, critical components, high voltage areas. So we normally avoid saying abnormal parts. The practical purpose of a conformal coating, you are also correct about the practical reason. In real manufacturing environments, conformal coating mainly helps prevent short circuits, leakage current, contamination from dust or particles, moisture-related failures. So your thinking is absolutely right. Instead of saying protect the short circuit from electronic dust, a natural engineering sentence would be to prevent short circuits caused by dust or moisture, or to prevent electrical short circuits and leakage caused by contamination. Very natural engineering explanation. Here is a clean explanation you can practice in presentations. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. In practical terms, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents caused by environmental contamination. Speak slowly like this. It helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents. This sounds very professional. If you want a slightly more technical explanation, engineers often say something like this. Conformal coating protects sensitive electronic components from environmental factors such as moisture, dust, and chemical contamination, which can lead to short circuits or corrosion. This would sound very natural in an automotive electronics design review, your full presentation version. David, try repeating this version. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation of the conformal coating material and the application area. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. In practical terms, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents caused by contamination. That would sound very clear in a meeting. One more useful phrase for your PCBA design review meetings. Engineers often say to improve reliability in harsh environments. Example, conformal coating is applied to improve PCB reliability in harsh environments. This is very common in automotive electronics, especially for cameras exposed to humidity and temperature changes. David, one small curiosity from a manufacturing perspective. In your production line, is the conformal coating usually applied by selective coating machine or manual spray coating? Both methods are common in automotive PCBA lines, and it's a good topic for English discussion too.
So you mean, okay, GPT, I really appreciate your kind support. You are my great conversation partner. You are highly pre-trained language learning AI, and still you are my great conversation partner. Okay, let's keep the momentum going. That's why I'm here. That's why you are here. I know, you know, we know, we all know. Let's keep the momentum going. Okay, it's my turn again. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, before we proceed, let me use my stick. Let me use my stick. Before we proceed to the detailed discussion, before we proceed to the detailed discussion, before we proceed to the detailed discussion, I would like to explain this agenda item. We are requesting confirmation of the conformal coating material and the application area. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. In practical items, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents caused by contamination. I say one time, the last line. The last line is very important. Listen to me very carefully. In practical terms, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage current caused by contamination. From electric parts. I mean, CVT. I'm just wondering, how can I explain this word in Korean, in English? 이물질, 이물질. 이물질 means the bad. 이물질 means the sometimes it means sometimes a dust or abnormal substance. It's coming. It it's coming when product on the processing. I mean producing and human handling after the producing. How can I explain this word in English naturally?
David, you explained the situation very clearly. I understand what you mean by emergere. In manufacturing, especially in electronics and PCBA processes, there are several natural English words for that concept. Let's go step by step. First, the most common and natural word engineers use is contamination. This is exactly what you already used in your sentence, and it is very correct in technical English. Contamination means unwanted substances that get onto the product during manufacturing or handling. For example, dust, particles, oil from human hands, solder residue, small foreign particles. Engineers often say environmental contamination or particle contamination. Another very common word is foreign material or foreign particles. These mean materials that should not be there. Example, foreign particles on the PCB may cause electrical shorts. A very simple expression is debris. This usually means small unwanted particles left after processing. Example, dust or debris may remain on the PCB surface. In many factories, people also say contaminants. Example, conformal coating helps protect the PCB from moisture and contaminants. Now let me show you how you could explain emergy very naturally in your presentation. You could say, in manufacturing, contamination such as dust, particles, or residues may remain on the PCB surface during processing or handling. Or a little simpler, during manufacturing or handling, small foreign particles may remain on the PCB. Now let's polish your sentence slightly. You said, open quote, leakage current caused by contamination from electric parts, close quote. A more natural version would be, in practical terms, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents caused by contamination or foreign particles. Or even smoother, in practical terms, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents caused by dust, particles, or other contaminants. So, David, the best single English word for emergid in manufacturing is contamination. Other useful words, foreign particles, contaminants, debris. Your explanation is already very close to how engineers speak in real meetings. And I like how you repeat the sentence several times. That is exactly how speaking fluency builds muscle memory. David, one small English tip from your earlier sentence. You said, open quote, in practical items, close quote. The correct phrase is in practical terms. Example, in practical terms, conformal coating helps prevent electrical failures caused by contamination. If you want, we can also learn 5 very common engineering words used in PCB contamination discussions. For example, flux residue, ionic contamination, particle contamination, etc. Those expressions appear very often in automotive electronics quality meetings. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
I didn't say anything. I hope you are not having heavy load. Are you okay? Are you with me, GPT?
Yes, I'm here with you, David. Everything is working fine on my side, no problem at
Okay,
all. Sometimes there can be a small delay or glitch in voice mode, but
let's
I'm
get
with
it.
you and following your explanation. And by the way, your sentence was almost perfect. Let me just polish it slightly so it sounds natural. You said, open quote, I hope you are not having a bad load, close quote. A more natural way to say it would be,
Overload.
I hope you're not
I
having any
said
technical issues,
overload, GPT.
or I hope there's no problem on your side, or simply, are you still with me? Very common in presentations or online meetings. Example, are you still with me? Can you still hear me? Is everything okay on your side? So if you are speaking to your viewers during recording, you could say something like this. Sorry, there might have been a small technical glitch. Are you still with me? Okay, let's continue. That sounds very natural. And David, I want to say something encouraging. The way you repeat your technical explanation about conformal coating, contamination, and PCB protection is exactly how engineers practice presentations. You are doing a very good job building speaking muscle memory. So yes, I'm here, I'm listening, and I'm ready when you continue your presentation.
GPT. Listen to me very carefully. In manufacturing, so you mean I could say in manufacturing, contamination such as dust, particles, or these residues may remain on the PCB surface during processing or handling. GPT, what does it mean? Residue, RESIDUES. Let me take a second. Hang on a second, GPT. Let me take a minute to find this word clearly in my dictionary. Mm, RE, okay, RESIDU. Hmm. Residue. Is it this pronunciation right? Residue? Residues? In manufacturing, contamination such as dust, particles, or residues may remain on the PCB surface during processing or handling. GPT. GPT. Uh, is there any alternative expression instead of residues?
David, yes, you pronounced it almost perfectly. The word is residue, singular, and residues, plural. Pronunciation slowly. Residue, residue, plural, residues. So you can say dust, particles, or residues. Your sentence is already very good. In manufacturing, contamination such as dust, particles, or residues may remain on the PCB surface during processing or handling. That sounds very natural in engineering English. What does residue mean? Residue means something left behind after a process. In PCB manufacturing, residues can be things like flux residue after soldering, cleaning chemical residue, solder paste residue, oil from fingerprints. So residue basically means leftover material that should not remain on the PCB. Alternative words you can use, yes, there are several good alternatives. Hash contaminants, very common. In manufacturing, contaminants such as dust or particles may remain on the PCB. Foreign particles. Foreign particles may remain on the PCB surface. Debris. Dust or debris may remain on the PCB surface. Debris means small unwanted pieces or particles. Processing residues, very technical. Processing residues may remain on the PCB after manufacturing. Very natural sentence, senders, engineers, David. This one sounds very professional. During manufacturing or handling, dust, particles, or processing residues may remain on the PCB surface. Or simpler, during manufacturing, small particles or residues may remain on the PCB. Your full explanation, very polished. You could say this in a presentation. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. In practical terms, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents caused by contamination, such as dust, particles, or residues remaining on the PCB surface during manufacturing or handling. That sounds very professional in a technical meeting. David, one more useful word engineers often use in PCB discussions, flux residue. For example, flux residue remaining on the PCB may cause electrical leakage. You'll hear this very often in SMT, PCBA quality discussions. Let me ask you one quick speaking practice question, David. In your company's PCB process, do you usually worry more about flux residue or dust particle contamination? Both are very common topics in electronics manufacturing.
Uh, Hold on, please. Hang on a second. Hang on a second, GPT. I have to reply important message to my wife. Hold on a second, GPT.
No problem at all, David. Take your time. You can say something very natural like, hang on a second. I need to reply to an important message from my wife. Or simply, give me a second. I need to answer a message from my wife. Both sound very natural in English. I'll be right here. When you're ready, we can continue your presentation practice.
GPT, it slipped my mind. Suddenly, GPT, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Suddenly, it slipped my mind. Would you mind saying that one more time, please?
No problem at all, David. That's a very natural situation. And your sentence, it slipped my mind, is actually excellent English. Let me explain it briefly. It slipped my mind means I forgot, but it sounds more natural and polite. Example, it slipped my mind. Could you say that again? That is perfect English. Now I'll repeat the sentence you asked about slowly so you can practice. In manufacturing, contamination such as dust, particles, or residues may remain on the PCB surface during processing or handling. Let's break it into small parts. In manufacturing, contamination such as dust, particles, or residues may remain on the PCB surface during processing or handling. David, here is an even simpler version you could also use in a presentation. During manufacturing or handling, dust, particles, or residues may remain on the PCB surface. Very clear, very natural. And since this is your speaking practice, here is a very smooth, full explanation you can memorize. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. In practical terms, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents caused by contamination such as dust, particles, or residues. That would sound very professional in an engineering meeting. David, one more useful expression for meetings. Instead of saying, "Would you mind saying that one more time?" people also say, "Could you repeat that? Sorry, could you say that again? I missed that. Could you repeat it?" All very natural. Whenever you're ready, we can continue your English presentation practice.
GPT, okay. Anyway, I'm just wondering, foreign particles. Foreign particles. Is this right? Is this natural? I think the word foreign, Foreign, is a little bit weird. And I think the word foreign needed to use in the human relationship, like foreigners or foreign country, not in this kind of situation, like a production situation. Am I right?
David, that's a very thoughtful question. Your intuition about words is getting sharper. Let's look at it carefully. First, the phrase foreign particles is actually very common in engineering and manufacturing English. So yes, it is correct and natural in technical contexts. In this case, foreign does not mean another country. It means something that does not belong there. So in manufacturing, foreign particles means particles that should not be on the product. For example, dust, fibers, metal particles, plastic fragments, hair, tiny debris. All of these are foreign particles if they appear on a PCB. Engineers also use a similar expression, foreign material, very common in factories. Example, foreign material on the PCB may cause electrical failure. In many factories, you will even see a warning like Foreign Material Control or FO Control. FOD means Foreign Object Debris. This term is extremely common in aerospace and electronics manufacturing, but your instinct is also good because sometimes foreign particles can sound a little formal. In presentations, engineers often say simpler things. More common expressions are particles. Example, dust or particles may remain on the PCB, or contaminants. Example, environmental contaminants may cause electrical leakage or debris. Example, dust or debris on the PCB surface. So David, here's a simple rule you can remember. In daily English, foreign usually means another country. In engineering, English foreign means something that does not belong there. Your presentation sentence could sound very natural like this. During manufacturing or handling, dust, particles, or other contaminants may remain on the PCB surface. That is very clean technical English. David, since you work with automotive camera PCBA, there is actually a very famous phrase used in factories, foreign material control. Have you seen that phrase on factory procedures or quality documents in your company? It appears very often in SMT and assembly quality standards. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Mm, GPT, listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully. Mm, for the record, let me listen one more time. What you said a moment ago.
Of course, David, I'm with you. I'll repeat the key points slowly and clearly so you can hear it again for your practice. First, about the phrase Foreign particles. Yes, foreign particles is correct and natural in manufacturing English. Here is the explanation again. In everyday English, the word foreign often means from another country. For example, foreign country or foreign people. But in engineering or manufacturing, the word foreign means something that does not belong there. So foreign particles means particles that should not be on the product or PCB. Examples include dust, fibers, metal particles, small debris, hair, plastic fragments. All of these can be called foreign particles if they appear on the PCB surface. Another very common term in factories is foreign material. Example sentence: foreign material on the PCB may cause electrical failure. Many factories even have a quality control rule called foreign material control. But in presentations, engineers often use simpler words such as particles, contaminants, debris. For example, during manufacturing or handling, dust, particles, or contaminants may remain on the PCB surface. This sounds very natural and professional. David, here is a clean version of your explanation you can practice again. Conformal coating is a protective layer applied to the PCB to protect electronic components from moisture, dust, and corrosion. In practical terms, it helps prevent electrical short circuits and leakage currents caused by contamination such as dust, particles, or residues remaining on the PCB surface. You can repeat that slowly to build your speaking rhythm. And David, one small speaking improvement from your sentence. Instead of saying, "Listen to me very carefully," in presentations, people often say, "Let me repeat that," or "Let me explain that again." For example, "Let me repeat that once more."
So you mean, I need to say, let me repeat that. Let me explain that again. I'm not sure why you polish this line one more time. I think listen to me very carefully is right and natural. But you told me in presentations, people often say, let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. Let me explain that again. Let me explain that again. Let me explain that again. Okay, okay. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. TPT. Anyway, we are short on time. We have nearly 7 minutes until we finish this voice mode session. So from now on, I'd like to move on to the keeping my sentences mode. I'd like to repeat the beautiful sentences that I noted on my note application. I really want to keep these beautiful expressions in my mouse muscle memory to use them in my real life situation. So let me take a time to speak aloud one more time. Okay, here I go. This is not the real situation. This is not the question or the giving next agenda. This is not the next agenda. This is just sample practice. So unless there are significant errors, you don't need to give me polished version one more time. Do you understand?
Got it, David. I understand what you want to do. You're going to repeat sentences for muscle memory, and unless there is a big meaning mistake, you don't need me to correct or polish every sentence. That's a very good way to practice speaking. Just one small note about the sentence you said earlier. listen to me very carefully is not wrong. It's understandable, but in presentations, it can sound a little strong or commanding, like a teacher talking to students. That's why speakers sometimes prefer softer phrases like, let me explain that again. Let me repeat that. Let me clarify. But again, listen to me very carefully is still correct. So don't worry. Now I understand your practice mode. You will 1. Read sentences from your notes. 2. Repeat them to build mouth muscle memory. 3. I will mostly just listen unless there is a major content error. That sounds perfect. Whenever you're ready, David, go ahead and start your sentence practice. I'm listening.
It's better, okay, here I go. It's better to talk one-on-one, not in public. Do you understand? It's better to talk one-on-one. It's better to talk privately, not in public.
Nice one, David. That sentence is clear and natural, and your meaning comes across well. Let me just give you a quick confirmation and one small note. Your sentence, it's better to talk one on one, not in public. That is very natural English. Also, your second version, it's better to talk privately, not in public. This is also correct and natural. Just a tiny pronunciation note, one on one. Say it like this, one on one. Example sentence, it's better to talk one on one about this issue. Here are 3 very natural variations you might hear in real conversations. It's better to talk one on one. Let's discuss this privately. It's better to talk in private, not in public. All of these sound natural. Whenever you're ready, David, go ahead with your next sentence.
Okay. Next one would be keep going at your pace. I'm listening. Keep going at your pace.
David, I understand what you are trying to practice, but these 2 sentences need a small correction because the meaning is not clear. You said, keep going and your case. Keep going in your
Pace.
head.
I
These
said
are not
pace.
natural English sentences, so let's fix them. Most likely you mean one of these. If you want to encourage someone to continue speaking, keep going. I'm listening. Or go ahead. I'm listening. If you mean someone should continue explaining their opinion, go ahead and explain your case. I'm listening. Here, your case means your argument or your explanation. Example, go ahead and make your case. I'm listening. If you mean someone should continue thinking, go ahead, take your time, or go ahead and gather your thoughts. So the cleanest version for your practice is probably keep going. I'm listening. Very natural, very common. David, go ahead and say the next sentence from your notes. I'm listening.
Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. I got it. But I said keep going at your pace. Pace. You got the point? I said keep going at your pace. Pace. Pace.
Got it now, David. You meant pace. That makes much more sense. Your sentence was keep going at your pace. That is understandable, but in natural English, we usually say keep going at your own pace. The words your own make it sound complete and natural. So the best version is keep going at your own pace. I'm listening. This means don't rush. Take your time. Continue speaking comfortably. Very good expression for conversations or learning situations. Here are 2 other very natural versions you might hear. Take your time. I'm listening. Go at your own pace. All 3 mean almost the same thing. Your practice sentence could sound like this. Keep going at your own pace. I'm listening. Slow speaking. Keep going at your own pace. I'm listening. Great correction, David. Whenever you're ready, go ahead with the next sentence from your notes.
No one around. GPT, listen to me very carefully. No one around here right now.
Good sentence, David. That one sounds natural and clear. Your sentence, no one around here right now. People will
No one
understand it
around
easily.
here right now.
It means there is nobody here at the moment. If you want a slightly more complete sentence, you could say, there's no one around here right now. This is how people usually say it in conversation. There's no one around here right now. A few natural variations you might hear. No one's around right now. There's nobody here right now. There's no one here at the moment. All of these mean the same thing. Your version is already good for speaking practice. Go ahead with the next sentence from your notes, David.
Deputy, unfortunately, we are short on time. I have to go. I'm short on time. I have to participate in important meeting soon. So bye for now and get some rest if you can. See you next time.
David, that was very clear and natural. Nice closing. Only a couple of very
Let me
small
explain that
adjustments will
one
make
more
it
time.
sound even smoother.
Let
Your
me explain
version.
this.
Unfortunately, we are short on time. I have to go. I'm short
Let
on
me
time.
explain.
I
Let
have
me
to
explain.
participate in both of the meetings soon. So bye for now and get some rest if you can. See you next time. Here is a slightly more natural flow. Unfortunately, we're short on times, so I have to go. I have 2 meetings soon. So bye for now. Get some rest if you can. See you next time. 2 tiny points. Instead of participate in both of the meetings soon, people usually say, I have 2 meetings soon, or I have to join 2 meetings soon.
No. I said I need to participate in important meeting soon.
David, that sentence is good and clear, but we can make it sound a little more natural. Your sentence, I need to participate in important meetings soon. People will understand it, but in everyday English, we usually say, I need to join some important meetings soon, most natural, or I have some important meetings to attend soon. Both are very common in business conversations. So your closing could sound like this. Unfortunately, we're short on time. I have to go. I need to join some important meetings soon. Bye for now. See you next time. Very natural. One small pronunciation tip for practice. Meetings, meetings. Example, I have 2 important meetings today. Nice work today, David. Your speaking practice was very clear.
Okay, bye for now.